Tachchen, as you say in Berlin. Welcome to Berlin and to the start of IFA 2023. It's kind of odd welcoming you to your pretty much like your very own party at this point. And in less than 10 months, just to get all the IFA here all together, that must be kind of exciting after all.
I'm very exciting. IFA is my favorite time of the year. I'm looking forward to meeting all the familiar faces and also new people. And I really love the buzz in the halls and to see innovations and new products. I'm looking very much forward to that.
But honestly, in between us, do you even have time just to try out all the little gadgets, or is it really just about meeting and talking and...
I take some time to walk around the halls. I do.
Well then, the stage is yours. Sara.
Thank you very much, Patrice. And indeed, a big hello and willkommen to you all. I'm thrilled to see you all here at the Messe Berlin exhibition grounds because it means it's IFA time yet again. And I know I'm speaking for the whole IFA team when I say we can't wait to get started and to give you the full IFA experience, and we hope you feel the same. In a moment, the Managing Director of IFA Management, Oliver Merlin, will give you all the facts and figures on this year's IFA. As you will know, IFA is going through a transformation. Our starting point, of course, was the fact that IFA is one of the world's most successful trade shows. But the world is changing. And during the pandemic, change was speeding up. The importance of technology on our lives grew dramatically. This changed our way of how we live and work, but also had an impact on trade shows. So we looked at how IFA worked and works. We asked our stakeholders how their expectations were changing. And then we started to look for additional partners to shape IFA's future to the demands of our stakeholders. We found this partner in Clarion Events. Clarion is one of the world's leading organizers for events and trade shows. So, as you know, GFU owns the IFA brand, and Clarion has the expertise to take this brand into the future. So in November last year, we came together and set up IFA Management GmbH, which is now in charge of organizing and running IFA Berlin. Under the leadership of Oliver Merlin, a team of around 40 people was rapidly built. The new IFA Management really got stuck in from spring this year. And here's our common aim. We want to take the IFA experience to the next level. Everything that's great and successful about IFA will continue, of course. But we also we need to add new experiential elements. And Oliver and his team have done an outstanding job in getting this evolution, this transformation underway. During the next few days, you'll immediately see the difference that they've made. Of course, we'll also continue our long-standing partnership with Messe Berlin. Despite the changes, IFA's place continues to be in Berlin, in the city of Berlin, and right here at Messe Berlin. Speaking on behalf of GFU, I'd like to say a big thank you to the team of IFA Management, and especially to you, Oliver. You've done a fantastic job making IFA 2023 a success. Please, let's give it up for him. Volatility, uncertainty, and complexity. As a result, we see a lot of change, and there are highly diverging trends in local markets. And yet, despite all this, overall the market of consumer electronics and home appliances is pretty robust. The pandemic triggered a huge demand for products and services of our industry. People had to work from home, and they wanted to turn their homes into personal cocoons to stay safe and sound. So during 2020 and 2021, many consumers invested to better equip their homes. Today, though, there are plenty of negative factors impacting the market. The energy crisis, climate change, inflation, and many other political and societal issues affect people's daily lives. So no wonder that many consumers have become cautious and reined in their spending. Yes, the global economy is recovering, although slowly. Much lower than in 2020, and yet things are looking up. We have already experienced the low point all the way back in 2021. And during 2022, we saw a modest recovery. So what's happening in the markets today? Globally, inflation stands on average at 6.6%. The result has been a cost of living crisis. During 2020 and 2021, the pandemic triggered extraordinary growth. Consumer demand soared, but once that was met, markets obviously were saturated. We've all lived through it. We were stuck at home, and so we spent money to make home life as comfortable as possible. New energy-efficient appliances replaced the old. Living room TVs had to stand in for local cinemas and the concert hall. So people bought TV sets with larger screens, higher resolution, and better sound systems. Now, though, our world has returned to near normal, even in countries that once had the most restrictive COVID rules. People have started spending again, but they first want to catch up on travel, eating out, and going to sports and cultural events. And then there's one more issue. When demand suddenly dropped, manufacturers and retailers saw stocks pile up, which put pressure on the prices. All these effects have an impact on the numbers, of course. During 2022, so-called technical consumer goods saw global sales of more than 1.3 trillion US dollars. That's a drop of 6.9% compared to the previous year. But I want to make a really important point here. Last year's global sales were still 9.3% higher than in 2019, the last normal year before the start of the pandemic. So overall, the last 3 years up to 2022 saw really quite extraordinary growth. Now let's look at this region by region. Only the emerging economies of Asia continue to see significant double-digit growth. Other regions like Latin America, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe are overall stable. Only China, developed Asia, Western Europe have seen a sharp drop of around 12%. One thing worth noticing here, all market data are based on US dollars at fixed exchange rates. Exchange rate fluctuations may give you slightly different trend rates for individual markets. So keep that in mind. Now, if we look at the big market trends in tech since 2019, we can see 4 distinct phases. First, pre-COVID, we had a slight downward trend. Next, we saw a huge growth during the first 2 years of the pandemic, with sales soaring more than 13%. As restrictions eased, however, demand suddenly dropped. But then in November last year, we saw the beginning of a turnaround. Markets stabilized and normalized. They stopped shrinking. So let's break this down by product category, year on year and compared to 2019. With the exception of consumer electronics and the photography sector, all product categories have higher turnover than before the pandemic. The biggest winners are the IT and office segment and small domestic appliances. Now, let's look at the past few months. Between January and July this year, most segments continued to see falling sales. Small domestic appliances did fairly well, while telecom and major appliances saw a drop of about 5%. You'll notice one exception. We registered healthy growth for the photography sector. And yet, if you look at the numbers in total, overall sales continue to be really high. But there is not a clear trend right now. The fact is, every region is different. Eastern Europe recorded the sharpest decline of more than 19%, while the Middle East and Africa saw growth of 4.9%. So what does this all mean? Here's our take, compiled jointly by GFU and our partners at GfK. Firstly, in these days of uncertainty and crisis, consumers are looking for trust, and that favors big brands. The price of products may be volatile, but trust is something that's gained over years, and once it's achieved, it takes a lot to displace it. If you want to observe the value of brands and brand trust, just walk the halls of IFA, where you will see many exhibitors enjoy extraordinary levels of trust. Secondly, the sustainability of products is more and more becoming a key reason to buy, especially for younger generations. Sustainability must be more than a marketing claim. It has to be a measurable benchmark, and the more brands achieve, the better. And yet again, when you walk the halls of IFA, you will see how far our industries have come in this regard. Thirdly, fewer people are looking for upgrades. Most people just buy replacement devices, and this is in line with a broader trend. Devices tend to be used for a longer period than before. And finally, customers are looking for great design, premium quality, and usability. Brands that focus on these three factors see their sales roar. During the second half of 2023, we expect a return to positive growth, and IFA will do its part to drive this growth. After all, IFA is the world's most important trade show for consumer electronics and home appliances. And it's taking place immediately before the most important shopping period of the year. So I wish you a great, a fantastic, and a fascinating IFA 2023. I hope all the products and innovation will inspire you. Have a great IFA experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well, and thank you for taking the time to join us for this press conference. My name is Oliver Merlin. I'm the Managing Director of IFA Management GmbH. I'm going to talk to you about a few of the key facts and figures of IFA this year, and a few of the new key elements and features you'll no doubt want to see and report on and discuss. Before I do that, however, I really need to, in a nice way, take Sara to task. Thanks very much for making things a bit emotional. Now you know, this was perfectly pressed before, and now I've had to use it to... The thanks actually go the other way around, just so you know. Managing and running a show like IFA is an incredible duty and responsibility, and obviously it's a huge trade show, as you all know. But it's also an absolute honour, and it's been a privilege. So on behalf of myself, and my team, and everybody at Clarion, would like to thank you for choosing us and giving us this opportunity. It's really been an incredible ride so far. We can only hope that we have repaid your faith, and what you see over the next few days is something you'll be proud of and something that we can take forward. So, before I get too emotional, I really need my pocket square. Let's dive into some facts and figures. So, I use this word trade show very advisedly, and I firmly believe that IFA is the best trade show in the whole world for consumer electronics and home appliances. Bar none. We really think that that is true of us in the world. Now, the trade show is a concept that Sara has already discussed, can be limited. And whilst we must always massively maintain that platform and maintain that position, we also need to add a few things on. So during my presentation, you'll see a combination of what you know and love, the traditional manufacturers and the trading opportunities that you see and that you respect IFA for, along with some new bits of magic, as I like to say, that we have added along on the side. The first thing to say is, and I hope you'll all agree with this fantastic achievement. I would like to take credit for myself, but IFA 2023 is completely sold out. Thank you very much. It, of course, is not me and it's not my team. It's IFA and the enduring importance of IFA to the consumer electronics and home appliances ecosystem around the world, and the love and the fondness of which IFA is held in. So, as you go around the show, you'll see it's very busy and indeed packed with lots of products that you know and love from your past, but also new innovations that you will no doubt enjoy. A few facts and figures then. We had, as you may or may not know, I know some of you who've been here for many, many years, there are 27 halls in IFA. We were not given one hall, so we sold out 26 halls. In fact, there's about 40 halls, right? Because there's 1.1 and 1.2 and so on and so forth. But actually, of the main halls, 26 halls, all completely full. So look forward to seeing that. Right, IFA is a very big show. I'm looking at some footwear down here, and I see some dubious footwear, some good comfort footwear. You will do a lot of walking. Okay, we've been doing some tests of how many steps our people have been doing here for the last few days. We're counting 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 steps, so it's a big place. 130,000 square meters is quite a lot of space, so make sure you wear the appropriate footwear. We have over 2,059 customers at IFA this year. I haven't been around and counted every single stand, but if you were to do that, you would get 259. And that's from nearly 50 countries around the world. And I think that's important to think about for a moment, okay? Number one, face-to-face is back. And number two, finally, travel wariness and travel restrictions are really starting to reduce, and people's comfort with traveling is coming back. And we see that reflected in our customers. And you'll also see it reflected in our visitors. The visitors are coming from literally all over the world and in very big numbers. This, of course, is a projection, and we'll update you with the final figures after the show. Now, one of the great things that's happened this year, and one of the things that I was very, very keen to do very early on in my role, was to secure the support of the traditional customers at IFA. And you can see by this, in this graphic, that Miele, Bosch, Siemens, Panasonic, Samsung, LG, all continue to support IFA and use IFA for their marketing and business development needs. This is a very important slide. I want to just draw your attention to the graph, if I may. As an organizer, it's very, very important to make sure that lots of familiar names, brands, faces, because after all, business is built on relationships, and you're all here also to meet people that you know from before and meet new people. The new side of things is very important. Those of you who have seen my press conferences throughout this year will have known that we were aiming for this 30%. Earlier on in the year, the new business was around 26, 27, 28%. Gradually it's gone up to 30. What that means is with IFA, you'll see we have a healthy balance of the core of customers that are very familiar to us. And then each year, at about this ratio, this percentage, we add a bunch of new customers. So the 30% is customers that have never exhibited at IFA before. New customers to us. And I think that's very important. It's a sign of a healthy show, which is really good. I want to talk to you a little bit now about a few elements that are new or that we have expanded upon over the last 7 or 8 months or so. The Sustainability Village is completely new. I'm sure I don't need to tell you, you're probably more informed than me on this, just how big sustainability has become as a topic this year. I like to think of it in this terms, in terms of the decision-making process that consumers go through. I would say even only a year or so ago, sustainability was at maybe number 4 or number 5, right? Behind the price, behind the brand, behind the quality of the product. Now, sustainability is 1 or 2. And if you don't believe that, I'm sure a lot of you already do know that, ask the consumers. We asked all of our customers this year, and they said absolutely they get told the same thing. But all of the retailers and the buying groups absolutely said us the same thing. But one thing that consumers ask about when they come in is this. And this, frankly, if I'm being completely honest, took us aback a little bit as organisers. We thought this would be a very important, interesting content stream, but actually this has turned into such an important topic. I would say maybe alongside AI, this has been the 2 biggest topics this year, that we have created a whole physical space. In Hall 2, you will see a stage where we will talk about various sustainability projects, topics, sorry. You will also see a mend and repair shop, which is a very exciting activation, which I'll talk about also in a little minute. And an exhibition area, several thousand square meters of a lot of our major customers exhibiting, and also new customers, talking about the sustainability story. Sara mentioned it, it's increasingly important, I'm sure I don't need to tell you. Please go there and check it out, it's a very cool new development for IFA. And these are some of the speakers, including people from Decarbonise and Down Plastic, but actually, this is just a very small selection. And this is the repair shop. So on the 2nd of September, we've partnered with a local repair shop here from Berlin. Please, again, highlight this area if you can. We think it's going to be very busy. Effectively, people can bring their broken or otherwise in need of some attention tech, not mobile phones, but other smaller household items. I don't imagine any of you that flown in and brought your washing machines or anything like that. But smaller items, like hair dryers, like game controllers, things like that, can be brought to the mend and repair shop and repaired on site. We think this is a feature that we'll carry on doing and should be a lot of fun. IFA Next. So I think most of you will know about IFA Next. IFA Next is a startup and innovation zone. It's very important as IFA as we compete internationally with other trade shows that some of you may know. I know we've got some of our US colleagues here. As we compete with CES and people like Mobile World Congress, they have very strong innovation and startup zones. One of the things I was keen to do was to invest some time and money and effort into expanding IFA's startup and innovation zone. So we're going to have around 350 startups there this year. Of course, that's not the whole story. We'll also have a content stage talking about various topics that are relevant to the startups and their ecosystem. And we have over 200 investors registered, you'll see, and they have their own lounge. Please, again, go to this area. You'll see it vastly expanded on what we did last year. This is the content stage. So IFA Next has its own 5-day contents, including pitch battles and how to relate to corporates and so on. This is visuals of what it will look like. Okay, and then in this room, in a couple of days' time, we'll start 2 days of top-level content, I would say TED-style level content, on a variety of topics. Day 1, roughly, is AI and gaming, and day 2 is much more about sustainability and health. But please hope to see as many of you in this room as possible, because the level of speakers that we've got is truly phenomenal, and is a really, really nice addition to IFA. Here's just an example. So you have Ivana Bartoletti, who is from Wipro. You have Steve Collins, who's the CTO of King. You have Angie Gifford, who's very senior at Meta. And you have Professor Chris Miller, who's probably the world's renowned authority on chip manufacture, which is obviously a very hot topic right now. And again, that is a tiny selection. You can imagine over the course of 2 days, many speakers, many panels and discussions in this room. Berlin Tech Week, again, some of you who've seen my press conferences throughout the year will have heard of this. This is an idea really to create a little bit more of the feeling of a festival in and around the city. So away from the Messe largely, as you can see there is a VIP drinks at Soho House. Those of you who know Berlin will be aware of Level, LVL. It's a gaming emporium where on Saturday afternoon there'll be a whole gaming afternoon along with discussions and talks about the future of gaming, and an AI sprint at the Merantix campus, amongst other things. And I think and I hope that this will grow over the coming years so that really Berlin can compete with all of the other international major festivals by having a festival in and around the city. The House of Robots, again, this is really, really directed at the consumers and obviously kids, but there's also a serious message around this, which is, how do the future of robots develop, okay? And some of the robots we've got are absolutely world-leading. In fact, one of the robots is going to play a DJ set back-to-back alongside Anio at the opening night. And those of you that are fans of the Berlin nightclub scene, you'll know who I'm talking about. And now, some key highlights. Excuse me. So, I know some of you are on the inside track of this already, but Honor are going to go an exclusive keynote on the 1st of September at 10 a.m. be here if you can. There's going to be some exciting news. I obviously cannot reveal any details whatsoever, but I think probably, again, some of you are better informed than I am, so be in this room. I know that some of you are already invited. Similarly, an hour later, Hisense are going to do another exciting presentation as well. As you know, they are sponsors of the Euros, which are going to happen here next year. So again, no details from my part, but again, come along and see them in this room on the 1st at 11 a.m. Now, I'm very excited about this. So, on Monday, they're actually getting very busy at the weekends now. FC Union Berlin, who used to be a second division team, okay, just a few years ago, made it up to the Bundesliga, which is the first level, for those of you who are not German, the first level of football or soccer in Germany, and now they're in the Champions League. And so this is a real inspirational story of the rise of success and what you can do with great teamwork. They're coming, 15 of their players, plus the coaching staff, are coming, and they'll be available for photo opportunities, merchandise signing, and so on and so forth, in the IFA Outdoors area, so in the round summer garden outside. We're very excited to have them. Now, two new and strange names. The shy and retiring Elon Musk has allowed SpaceX and Tesla to join us. Tesla would not give us a logo or a picture of any cars, but rest assured there are 3 Tesla cars here that you can go and check out. And SpaceX will be demonstrating their Starlink satellite technology. So, just a couple of things I wanted to pick out for you to check out. I know that some of you in the room are influencers with huge followings as well, but I also want to pick out 3 that you can check out. So Abir is from the Middle East. She has 22 million TikTok followers and produces some amazing recipes. She's a cook, and she'll be doing live demonstration and also talking. Diana, I'm sure a lot of you know. She is on the German equivalent of Shark Tank and is going to be giving a keynote speech on innovation. And Quebbelkop is a YouTuber and gamer who has over 15 million followers on YouTube. So he's going to be talking about the future of gaming, content creation, and AI. Please try to catch these guys if you can at all the various spots. In fact, Diana and Quebbelkop will be here. Quebbelkop will then be going to the IFA gaming area. And IFA Outdoors, what is it? The summer garden is going to have 3 main elements. The pictures that you see behind me are the co-working space. So Mindspace, who you may know, very kindly set up co-working space outside, fully electric, fully Wi-Fi. If you don't want to sit or it gets too stuffy in the press center, please go and use the space outside. If it doesn't rain, it'll be really nice. That's also where the sports teams will be, so IFA Union Berlin, and also we're inviting Victoria Berlin and maybe some other sports people hopefully to come along. And also will be an outdoor food festival with food trucks and so on to enjoy in the garden area. Lastly, but not least, one very quick slide on the 100th year. It's 100 years next year. As you know, it's been a lot of hard work to bring IFA 2023 to you, but in the last few weeks we've also started planning on IFA 2024, and indeed my successor is here and will join us on the stage shortly. We've already developing some huge plans. I'm obviously not going to reveal anything now, but there will be various announcements in the coming weeks and months. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope you've seen some great things that you want to look at and write about and report on, and look forward to seeing you around over the next 6 or 7 days.
We will build on the success of IFA as the most important platform for consumer electronics and home appliances. IFA Next means startup, and sustainability will continue to be topics for us. Artificial intelligence and digital health are high on our agenda as well. Overall though, we really want IFA to start the next century as an event that is much younger, more agile, and most importantly, more visible than ever before.
And anything else that you would add on, especially when it comes to exhibitors, when you tell them, like, listen, you need to come over here to IFA 2024, what's your key message there?
So, next year, IFA will celebrate 100 years, as already mentioned. And we will turn IFA into a new modern trade fair that's a must visit, especially for the younger generation. There will be plenty of events around Berlin and that will get us more footfall directly to the IFA. We will also make sure to cover all topics that are full on trend. But what really be the salt in the soup? The products. That's what people come to see, so we will highlight 100 products that are at the edge of innovation. Next year IFA will take place from the 6th to the 10th of September, here under the Funkturm at Messe Berlin.
Sarah?
I can start. Oliver already mentioned it. We are sold out. All the halls that were available to us are filled with companies. So this is a great success for us. And we have seen great demand across all sectors. And yeah, Oliver might be able to tell you more about those who aren't here this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we spend a lot of time, unfortunately, every now and again organisers lose companies, they go elsewhere, they make different choices, right? There are more than one trade show in our area, unfortunately. So,
Good question.
So, well, while I was just talking about the global situation, which is, of course, a little bit different from the German situation, we also talk about the consumer. But replacement means that you actually only get a new one when the old one doesn't work anymore.